to the B to the O to the N to the A. Hey, what is up? Okay, hi everyone. I need to relax and calm down because I am so excited about this topic. It's just been on my mind today, and I'm like, I have to do a topic on this. This has to be done. So my energy is up here, here. So I need to bring it down. Goodness. All right. So let me get these cards together to see what kind of guidance we can get with today's video, today's topic. The topic is on connectivity, right? Connectivity. I like to say I'm a new school philosopher, a deep thinker. I always get into these introspective thoughts about mostly a lot about humanity, a lot about spirituality, a lot of questions that, I think us as beings on this earth should be having, like a lot of thoughts, a lot of questions. So I like to go into deeper thought on those things. And a lot of it sometimes comes off a little sci-fi, and I will say this is sci-fi thinking. Like I say, this is an imaginative world on this channel, so we think a lot in imaginary. And if you don't understand that, this is not your channel. But let's see, this one's sticking out for me. And so just looking around, walking home from the grocery store, looking at my neighborhood, and I walk down the street, like, let me set the scene for you. But let's pick one of these cards. So I live in Brooklyn. There's always people on the streets everywhere. It's so hot. So people like to come out of their apartment buildings, sit in front of their apartment buildings and just chill, relax with their friends, whatever. A lot of the times you'll see older people outside because it's so hot in the apartment that they have to come outside, and then they just be chilling and talking and all this crazy stuff. So today, as I'm walking, okay, we're gonna go with this one. Base chakra, human nature, honoring your body and grounding. Ooh, human nature, and we're about to talk about connectivity. Source, ancestors, higher goddess, inner goddess. Thank you for always guiding me. So we're gonna talk about this card. Let's see. This energy center is a reminder that it is time to evaluate the foundations, get back to the basics. Wow, get back to the basics. And we're gonna be talking about connectivity. Okay, so I already set the scene. I'm walking down the street, and there's like a bunch of older Haitian gentlemen that sit outside of the apartment. So I walk past them, and they're all talking, having a good time. And then I look on the street, and there's another Haitian father there, and his daughter's in the car, and they're listening to Haitian music, and she's just having a good old time. So I'm walking, wave, say hi. And then I just think in my mind, imagine her story. This little girl, she is with her father, he's with his older friends, and they're just jamming to Haitian music, and she's in the front seat. That's how she spends her New York summers. Yo, I grew up in New York, and this is what it was like. And I just chuckled. I'm like, wow, that's gonna be her experience, one of her experiences. So then I continue to walk down the street, and then I'm alert, because I like to be alert. I like to see where I'm at. I like to make eye contact with people. I do. I be in people's face hi, hello. Sometimes it's so annoying for people, but I like to make a connection. I just like to look, say hi. So I see another family, and it's a brother and sister. They're Hispanic, or they're Spanish, and they're walking their dog, and I'm like, wow, they live in this neighborhood too, and this is gonna be their story growing up in Brooklyn, New York. And then just me trying to think about what's their story, what is their vantage point, how are they seeing this? So as I continue to walk, and I'm just thinking, I started thinking about my own future children, and as they grow up in the same world, what is their vantage point? What are they learning? What are they discovering about their neighbors? Because we actually all grow up together. We're all intertwined. We're all connected. So if all the kids here at this age are learning one thing, are being taught one thing, as they grow, those thoughts and those dynamics and everything that we teach them is going to grow with them, and that's going to be the dominating society whenever they're, grown up. Like, and so I'm thinking like, wow, what am I going to teach my own children about like this lesson? And then immediately I was like, oh, I'm going to protect them. I'm going to make sure that they know like this world, you got to protect yourself. You got to make sure you're on guard. You got to keep up this, just telling them ways to protect themselves. Make sure you're doing this, make sure you're doing that. And then I'm like, that sounds so oppressive. Like, it sounds so, you're welcoming a new spirit, a new being to the world, and automatically, in any survival situation, you have to know how to adapt and survive. So I understand like the fact that we have to teach our children certain things, certain values to make sure that we keep them safe. But then at the same time, it's like on the opposite side of that, how are we teaching them to grow up in society with others, and how so many things could be changed if like we were just all on the same page with that. So as I'm thinking about this, I'm like, wow, this is crazy, because if you think about the fact that we all are connected to each other, just simply, that's just the truth of the matter. And we're going into imagination world now. Stay with me. I always say this. I always say, stay with me. Don't leave me now. Now is not the time to go. So, but we're in this imagination world. We're in this sci-fi world. Let's call it a sci-fi world. And in this sci-fi world, we are beings on this earth. We know we dropped down. We came into this earth, and we had missions. And once we got here, if you're sci-fi fans, you already know the story. We lost it all. We have to redevelop ourselves and make a new mission, blah 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 blah. But inside of this human body is like this spirit, this energy, this energy. It's a source, right? And the source knows that, okay. I'm about to go crazy right now. So just imagine us all feeding from this energy ball someplace. We're feeding from this energy, and we are in these little pods, right? And in the pods, we are input into this game, into this system, into this world. And we have something that connects us all, and how we use that will depend upon what plays out in our operating society. So imagine that you're having this like energy that's like just full of rage, and that's electrical energy. If you're having this energy of like anger and hate, and I got a chip on my shoulder, that's electric energy that you're putting out. It has a vibration to it. And then since you're in this energy pod, you're putting out that vibration, that anger, that hate. So now it's like attracting towards you. And then this is how your world and your society is playing out. And in all these little pods, you have an operating a dominant energy, and some energies are high, some are low, some are all over the place, but most of them are out of whack in some way. So imagine if you could tap into a source in this energy pod and say, you know what, I want good things for myself. I want happiness. I want to be around people who like feel this good, loving energy like me, and just want to be good and like do good, make decisions that are best for everyone. Like, you just have this thing inside of you where anything that makes you happy, anything that really ignites you, that gets you to this positive space, what if you could radiate that out of your body, and then that radiation, that vibe flows out to all the other people that are operating on that vibration, who are like, yes, I'm tired of all the craziness. I just want to eat well. I want to think well about myself. I want to think well about others. Like, break this barrier of this block and just barrier that we all have as humans operating in this society. So the more and more that vibration builds up, the more and more you start connecting with those people in society, and you're making the vibration bigger and bigger and bigger, and then soon it can take over everything. And then what if that was the dominant operating energy? All these little pods sending out the same vibrations, and then they're vibrating, and changing things in this game world that you're in. Sci-fi, right? I hope you guys are staying with me. So what if that, as human beings, as spiritual beings, just like what if we're supposed to be doing more work on our spirit? And in a way that's just like, not even in a religious way, but in a way that's just like, what is uplifting you? What is vibing you? What is making you feel alight and alive? Let's think about that and let's feed that, you know? Oh, and this world is so damn perfect. I wish y'all could see it. So the fact is that, like this card that came up that says human nature, getting back to our foundations, what if our foundations is teaching our children, instead of like, you have to protect yourself, you have to be on guard, you know, you have to put this block up, which you do need some protection. I'm not gonna lie, you have to tell people. But what if you help them see a different way to operate in society and to make that vibration bigger? What if you could teach your children, okay, this is the world, this is how it's operating, but there's something inside of you that gives you your light, your charge, your battery here, and that's how you operate. So you find that what's inside of you, and then you begin to do more of that. Like, what kind of children would we grow if we did that? And then they're all operating in society together with these same foundations, these same core values, these same systems that are feeding more than just the human body. That's a sci-fi world. That's wild, wild thoughts on deep dive into my sci-fi mind. You know, and so I think a lot of the times with religious practices, spirituality practices, that you start feeling this connection, and it doesn't happen overnight. And I think honestly, everyone should start with their food. What are we eating? Oh my gosh, this is not a preaching session though. It's just, you know, how you develop. It's just what you can do to develop and to get higher vibrations, clearer thinking, and just thinking about, you have the space and the energy to disconnect and like really think about who you are, what you bring to yourself, how do you love yourself, and what do I do that I absolutely love that ignites me. And for me, it's just like, I kind of just like love chatting with people. I do, like, you know, I like to be, hey, how's it going? I don't like to chat all day long, but I do like that connectivity of just humans in general. I like to show people like, I'm a person, I'm gonna look you in your eyes. Hi, hello, how are you doing? You know, just, oh, you need help with that? Bruh, what are we doing out there? What are we doing? But that is it for Wild Wild Thoughts. Comment below, let me know what you think. If you have not subscribed yet, but you're here for, what is this, the 7th video? Subscribe. Oh, disclaimer for those people who want to comment and say like, oh, this is not real, this channel is not for you, because we've moved over that. We've evolved from that. So if you're saying that, bye, this channel is not for you. But for those that do get it, understand it, like to talk about it, like to hear it, comment below. Let's start a conversation. What do you think? Is it possible? I don't know. Have you ever done any meditations or anything that made you feel that vibration, that spirit inside of you? Let me know. And how we leave it all the time is, everything is love. Love is everything. Go out there and love yourself. If I see you and you're not loving yourself, go out there and love yourself, love others, and that's it.